Hello?
Hello, Mr. Wolf.
Yes, hi.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm fine, thank you. You're on the air, and you're being recorded, so I want to be clear about
Awesome.
that. Okay, go ahead. Uh,
Yeah, so I'm just about to get out of the army. Tomorrow is my final out. Well, I'll be out, and then I leave to go back to Florida on Saturday, and I have no real direction after that.
did you have any skills that you learned while you were in the army? Things that you enjoyed or doing, or you just really
Um, yeah, so I was a heavy equipment transportator or heavy equipment operator. Um, and that's what I've done for the past 2 years. It's not really something I enjoy too much. I like history a lot, though. That's probably what I'm the best at is just knowing history.
okay? So let me understand you. You're looking for some career direction. Then is that the reason for the phone call?
Yes, yeah,
Okay. Can I use your first name so just so I'm know I'm talking to, or
yeah, Jack.
Jack? Okay, sorry. All right, so Jack, one of the things that I'd say to start with is, if we follow kind of this process that I call a roadmap, is you're feeling how would you say? It sounds like lost a little bit to me, but
Yeah, a little nervous. It's a big shift of life, so it's a little overwhelming at the time, I guess.
sure, because you're leaving one thing that you had every day. You know what you're doing when you woke up, and now you don't, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So one question is then, how do you want to feel? Let's assume that you could, within a few weeks or a month, change how you're feeling. What would you want to feel? What would be ideal for you kind of to feel walking, changing direction, obviously. What are you
Yeah,
hoping to feel?
I'd say good about myself and good about really what I'm doing. It doesn't really matter in the end. Like I feel like how much money I'm making or anything like that. But as long as I like what I'm doing, um,
So you want to
and it's
find
survivable at least.
something that gives you enough so you can live on it. Doesn't have to be a
Yeah,
lot, but something that
yeah,
gives you enough so that you feel you're not living moment to moment and dollar to dollar, but something that gives you a
yeah.
paycheck that you can live
hmm
on, and also something that you enjoy that's making you feel good about yourself and about whatever it is you might choose to do. Does that sound right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And I see myself concerned with the state of the outside world right now. I don't, I haven't been in the game per se for a couple of years now, so I don't know what it's like out there. How to survive, I guess.
Well, my guess is, Jack, you've been, known this is coming. So I'm assuming that you thought of some things that you might have dismissed. Have you kind of gone through in your mind things that you possibly could do?
Yeah, I plan on going back to school um as a fallback, working for the Department of Transportation probably. I know that a federal job would probably be good just because of the benefits. Um but Also maybe like politics I've thought about getting into or teaching history.
So you have a love of history and a love of maybe politics is a tough game, especially these
Yeah,
days. It
I
seems like.
know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, do you have connections for any of this to have happen? Do you have any people that you're connected with that could help mentor you or advise you or guide you on any of that?
Um, I have one person. He's a my dad's friend who might help with the history teaching.
Okay.
As for politics, nobody. Um, but that's just a little side thing that I've, it's something that I've thought of, not really too heavily, but something
And
that I've considered.
well, in our history jobs, it seems to me the history jobs were not that available recently. Do you have any feel
Um,
for? Has that
yeah,
opened up?
there. I don't know about DoD like a Department of War historian might be open. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know how lucrative any of these might be, but probably not, probably not very. But I'm not exactly looking for like lucrativity activity or
understand. You're
anything
not
like
looking.
that.
Yeah,
So,
it's not about the paycheck.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I think if you got a job in one of these
Um,
places, that would be a survive. I mean, when you said it, just enough to survive on and even thrive a little bit. I think that's probably doable in the jobs you're talking about. So I think that
okay.
I think that part is handled if you were able to get one of these jobs. The question for
Yeah.
teaching though is that you have to have a teaching degree. Do you have any kind of educational background like that?
Yeah, so I had a couple years of school, and then, as you might know, there's the GI Bill for
Right,
getting out of the military.
right.
I have 90% of it. I'm just planning on subsidizing the last 10% with scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I could apply for several smaller ones. Um, if I could go for a big one, maybe the Pat Tillman itself would cover the rest.
Interesting.
Um,
Okay.
but hopefully, just with like some scholarships and grants, I could get it down all the way. Um,
And then I think if you teach in inner city, sometimes they give you breaks on what on any money if you might have to borrow some or something like that. At least it used to be
yeah.
years ago.
Mhm.
So
Could you say that one more time? Sorry.
yeah, I think that years ago I used to work in schools, and when I
Mhm.
was going to school, I thought I remember there was for inner city teaching, they deferred or actually paid off some of the loans that you took out that came from the government. Now, I don't know if that's still available, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I know there's something now where if you work for like 10 years for um, if you work a federal job for like 10 years, or at least any federal position for at least 10 years, um, or well, not even federal, it could be state, like super local. Um, they'll take off. They'll completely relieve your loans. I might be mistaken in that, but I've heard that through the wind in the willows, um, per se.
so,
But
so it seems to me a couple things. One is if you want to feel like you're successful, which is I think how you put it, successful in
mhm,
achieving the things that you said. I would say success. You want to feel successful and confident, and you know what you're doing and where you're going, and you're on the right track. It may not be perfect, but it's a track that you feel like, hey, I'm going down the right road here, and I'm making some headway. Does that sound
mhm.
right? Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah. I got a rough path to follow, but got to learn the steps on how to take it, I guess.
and if you have somebody that you said is someone you think would be a mentor, a friend of your father's, is that someone that could perhaps guide you along the way?
Yeah, I think if I had a call or two with him, it would help out a lot. I haven't spoken with him in a little bit. Actually, well, I did kind of recently, but I think he would help out.
So you might start there. Does that sound like something you're able and willing to do?
Yeah, yeah.
So if you have a starting point, but I think part of going in and seeing them is getting some more clarity on what you think you want to do, which is I think you have sort of a feel for it. But if I was going to a mentor, I think what the mentor would want me to have done. Well, what do you think a mentor would want you to have done before you go to see him?
Create probably a step-by-step plan for success with like almost like in the military we have like a PACE plan
There you
per
go.
se.
Yeah,
You have a
yeah.
primary, an alternate, a contemporary or something like that. Yeah, contemporary plan, and then a emergency.
Are you
So
able
you have
to
like
are you able to do that, Jack? Are you able to create something like that?
yeah, yeah. Um, I could create four different plans for probably the next 5 years of my life or so, or 10.
Well, I don't know if you have to go that far, but I mean, I think you want to at least an outline because I don't want to. If you set yourself up to have all these plans, then you may never get to see them.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No,
you want to have something. Yeah, what I found, Jack, that's helpful is that when you want to change, you need a clear vision of what you want to change to. That's what I was saying. Really think hard about what
mhm.
you want to go talk to them about.
Yeah, yeah,
That makes sense. And then you want
yeah.
some clear, concrete first steps. So you don't need four plans. You need a plan and a backup plan.
Okay, too easy.
And then you do your homework because that's part of it too. You find out what
Hmm.
is available. What will the military do for you? What scholarships? And then you ask them, what do you think of my plan? You're not asking them to do the plan for you, but say, I'd like to share with you what I'm thinking about, and if you could spend a few minutes with me, just kind of give me any advice you can that might help me along the way.
Okay,
Does that sound reasonable to you?
that does. Yeah. Well,
So
thank you very much, Mr. Wolf. Your insight's been very valuable.
Well, thanks, Jack, and thanks for the call. One of the things you want to look at, Jack, is you've got some skill sets, and and it's working the way that you want it to work by pulling those same skill sets together and just getting some clarity on where you want to head to. And I think you're good to go.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much once again.
You bet. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Bye bye now.